Right. We are freaking back. It is day 2 of the freaking summer. What am I calling it? I haven't edited the other video yet. So summer Shredathon, I think, is what we will freaking call it. Today, chest. Get fucking hyped. Now, just to catch up a bit on what I said yesterday, I said, I was talking about whether you should bulk or cut, and said you had to actually dedicate to that. And if you're completely new to this, obviously you have no idea what the hell that means. So, if you're wanting the first steps, the first thing you should do is just go to Google or whatever browser and search up like maintenance calorie calculator. There's like a bunch of them. And you go on there and you put in like your height, weight, and like activity level. And now be careful, probably say a little bit less activity level than you think you're doing. And make sure you read the definitions properly and whatever. And then that'll spit out a number that'll be like your very rough maintenance calories, right? Then over time, you're gonna use that and see, well, how accurate is that? So if you're trying to put on mass, you need to be eating above that. And I'd recommend you don't, obviously, if you're trying to put on more mass, you need to eat more over that. But maybe like 500 calories over that is a good place to start. Then if you're putting on weight at the rate you want, great, perfect. If you're not putting on enough weight, obviously you're going to need to up the calories more, because that tracker, that maintenance that it gave you, maybe wasn't super accurate. Or if you're getting too fast, eat a little bit less. And then obviously if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to get leaner, eat under that, and so on and so forth. If you want to lose weight faster, eat less. If you want to lose less weight, eat a bit more. But over time, you'll kind of get to know your body and know your calories a lot better. And then you'll freaking have a good idea of what should you be eating when you're cutting versus bulking versus what your maintenance is, right? So what did we wake up at this morning? This morning we woke up, I can't remember. But at the moment we're doing 2,200 calories, which is a pretty big deficit. My maintenance is probably around 3,100, 3,000, something like that, because I do a decent amount of cardio. Depending on the amount of cardio, I think I can eat like almost 3,500 and whatever. Well, freaking ever. Today is chest. Now, chest is something that you should do a pretty robust warm up for, I think. Because compared to your other days, right? Back, it's a lot harder to injure your back or your shoulders when you're pulling movements, right? That doesn't have as much risk associated. Whereas if you're gonna cook yourself some way, it's probably your shoulder doing chest. So I would recommend, spend 5-10 minutes with the cables, do some face pulls, some push downs, some like flies, just like light, like 5 kilos, something like that, depending on how strong you are. Just grind some stuff out, warm up, nothing that's getting you out of breath, just to keep your freaking shoulders safe. Because then when you go into your first set, whether that's a heavy pressing movement or a lighter fly movement to still warm up, your shoulders and your rotator cuffs are actually ready for that weight. Whereas if you're just going fresh, it's a lot more likely that you're gonna pull something. And you don't wanna be that guy who's like, well, if I didn't have this shoulder injury, I'd be able to bench 6 billion. At your age, I could bench 200 kilos. But then I cooked my shoulder and it meant I could never work out again. And that's partially because they're just making excuses, but whatever. Let's get in the gym. Doing flies first, doing like 1 or 2 sets of flies first, Loki slaps, because then when you get to your heavy pressing, you're like fully warmed up, right? Alright, we're gonna grind this out. This machine Loki slaps. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do some incline dumbbell. We're gonna freaking warm up here and do some fucking heavy ass dumbbells. Probably two, maybe 3. We might get an assisted one or a drop set on the last one. Bit heavy. Yeah. Right. I think we'll probably do some machine press of some kind. And then maybe some kind of fly. Ooh. Now, the thing about this one is the top is like super tricep stimulus, right? So don't give me shit about my form, because by cutting the range of motion at like 3/4, I'm actually hitting more chest and less tricep. So it's actually optimal. I'm taking the pump cover off. Oh, we're gonna go a bit lighter. Alright, we're not freaking done chest, but we're gonna put in some freaking lat raises because I need bigger shoulders. And I pretty much hit shoulders every day. And then my chest can recover a little bit. And we'll probably do 2 or 3 lighter, really burn the shit out of it at the end. Hopefully that should lead to a pretty sick pump. We'll probably do 1 more there, and then we'll jump into some push downs. And we'll do some freaking tricep shit. And then probably some kind of cable fly. And then we'll check the pump. Bro, the D handles are low-key super underrated. If you want to mix between rope and straight bar, try the D handles. Holy fuck. Right. Definitely no more triceps. They're cooked. But pretty freaking pumped. We're gonna do 3 here. 2 or 3. Just go until the chest gives out. Then we will check the freaking pump because we will be done. And I'll tell you, I'm already feeling pretty freaking pumped. This one's a freaking good one. Now, because I'm a freaking idiot, I forgot to press record on the last set. So we're gonna do one more. I'll probably make this a drop set. Holy shit.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was wrong like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was fun like me?
I'm gonna do some freaking calves. And I'll see you guys back in Karl. Let's get the flip out of here. Whew. Calves, absolutely destroyed. Quick and easy way to do calves. You just sit on the calf machine and then, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Idiots. Anyway, you just sit on the freaking calf machine and then you freaking do it and then you watch reels between your sets. Because calves, unlike, for example, chest and tries, which we did today, and shoulders, kind of requires less mental focus, right? Like if I'm doing quads, for example, if I'm going to do a set of squats, I've been thinking about that set of squats for like 2 days before. And then going into that set, all I'm thinking about is that set of squats. All I'm thinking about is doing each rep. And then in between those sets, I'm just sitting there thinking about the next set and actively recovering. Because squats require so much freaking mental toll. Whereas with calves, it's kind of like, you can push them pretty hard without having to really lock in. So anyway, you should train more calves. I did like 8 sets, just sat there. Train calves at the end of every other workout, something like that. Every other lift, just chuck calves in. They recover pretty quickly. Obviously, if they're not recovered, don't train them again. Wait another day. Pretty simple. I normally do them after chest, and normally that'll do me for a little bit, and then I'll do them again. But that pump was pretty crazy. We got some cheeky veins out that haven't been out in a while in the forearms, which was pretty sweet. Now, how many sets did I do? 2 sets of that, 3 sets of that, 3 sets of that, 3 sets of that. So I did like 11 sets of chest. And I think that's right around the sweet spot. Because for reps, I think the common cited term is like 5 to 30 or something. But for me, I would recommend staying in there like around 7 to 16. I think in that rep range, and then averaging kind of closer to 10. Staying around there is going to kind of give you a weight that's heavy enough that you're actually putting some freaking fatigue and stimulus on the muscle, but not too heavy that you're actually getting through a range of motion and you're able to push it a bit. And I think the amount of sets is kind of similar. I would say that if you're pushing it, you should be doing maybe like 8 to 12 sets, like for each major muscle group. So for chest, we did about 11, sits perfectly in there. I don't think if I did another set, it would have been any better. I think at that point, it would have been just adding a bit of freaking fatigue. But you'll notice for triceps, I only did 3 sets, and that's because triceps are not the basis of this lift. This lift is for chest, triceps, and shoulders, which I threw in there, are just to give them some extra stimulus. Because I do the bulk of my tricep training on arm day, but because the tricep is like a smaller muscle group, it recovers a lot more quickly than like your chest or your back. So I can afford to chuck a few extra sets of triceps in there. Not too many, but just enough to add some extra stimulus. And same kind of thing with shoulders. Because I throw in shoulders most days, actually. Because, I mean, come on. You want big shoulders, right? Everyone wants big fucking shoulders. But anyway, the cut continues. I will go in and down some form of chicken breast and some carb. I haven't decided. It'll be either potatoes or rice. Or actually, no. I have a freaking low carb pizza base. I'm gonna try that out. And then also probably some potatoes. Whatever. I have about, how many calories? I have about 900 calories left. We're gonna devour that, chicken breast, and some carbs.